Welcome to our Metadata Management Module video tutorial. The Prognoz Platform Open Metadata Model makes objects accessible from external systems and applications based on access privileges. Manipulations with the metadata repository are performed using the Repository Manager utility of the Prognoz Platform. With the Repository Manager, you can easily create a Prognoz Platform repository in a new database and quickly update the repository version in the existing database. This utility also enables you to create a repository version backup and recover supporting spreadsheets in case of data loss or change. The recovery procedure employs backup copies created during Prognoz Platform backup. Prognoz Platform updates can contain changes to the physical structure of the metadata repository. These updates help to improve the performance of Prognoz Platform and enhance its functionality. To work with a repository created in an older version of Prognoz Platform, you need to update it using the Repository Manager. The installation package with update scripts is located in the RM folder of the Prognoz Platform installation path. Let's specify metadata schema connection settings and perform the update. Once updated, the repository will be ready to run on the new version of the Prognoz Platform. Use the same procedure to create a new MDM repository. Note that to create a Prognoz Platform repository, except for SQLite, you need to create a schema on the DBMS server first and then create a metadata repository. The Object Navigator is a crucial platform tool that allows you to manage all system objects. With the Object Navigator, you can create new repository objects, arrange them in folders, and open them for viewing and editing. The Navigator contents window supports a number of standard views, such as small and large icons, as well as list and table views. The Object Navigator also supports the Report Preview feature. To use it, select the Extra Large Icons mode. Let's return to the table view of the Object Navigator. In the Prognoz Platform, all system objects have meta descriptions. Each object has shared and specific metadata. Shared metadata are the same for all system objects and are accessible from the Object Navigator. These metadata refer to the name, identifier, date last modified, object type, and comment. If necessary, you can display cached object properties in the Object Navigator. For convenience, objects in the list can be sorted by any shared metadata element, such as by identifier. The Navigator supports extended object search capabilities, using shared metadata as criteria, like name, identifier, and so on. If necessary, all objects that meet search conditions can be displayed in the Search Results window. From the Search Result window, you can quickly move to a desired object. To view and edit the properties of the desired object, select the Properties item of its context menu. A key is assigned automatically when the object is created. This value may not be changed. The key is a system index, and it's used to establish relationships between objects. Prognoz Platform tracks dependencies between any objects of the system automatically. For example, in the Properties window of the selected time series database, you can view what repository objects the database contains, as well as objects that are included in it. To handle large amounts of data, data source caching can be used. On the Names tab, you can name the object using any language supported by the Prognoz Platform. For this object, the name is specified in 2 languages. The object names change automatically as the system interface language changes. The Prognoz Platform contains more than 40 main types of objects, each of which has its own set of specific metadata. For example, a cube contains links to data tables, the description of cube dimensions, such as facts, territories, indicators, and so on. Data aggregation settings. Other unique characteristics of the cube type. Objects of specific types can contain other objects. For example, the time series database contains import schemes, validation rules, data tables, a modeling container, and so on. To support the simultaneous operation of multiple users, the platform can lock objects or prevent them from being accessed. Current user locks are accessible via the View ribbon tab. As an example, let's lock one of the reports and then log in using a different user account. Any attempt to access the locked object will cause a notification message to appear. Object can be unlocked using the Context menu or the Locks window. In the Prognoz Platform, you can set a language in which object names will be displayed, given that the relevant setting is enabled and name translations are available. To change the display language, first close the current repository. Then in the Prognoz Platform Welcome window, edit the current schema parameters. The following repository language options are available. By default, This option uses the same language that was used for creating the repository. Custom Interface Language. This option uses the Prognoz Platform interface languages as the repository language. You can also select any of the languages supported by the Prognoz Platform from the drop-down menu. Note that if repository object names are not available in the selected language, then by default, names will be displayed in the repository language. Let's set Russian as the repository language. Let's log in. As you can see, time series database names have changed automatically. Now, let's review metadata at the repository level, such as global variables settings. Also, you can set other default repository objects, such as the database, master data management repository, modeling container, mobile application, and map. Feedback settings allow you to set a method for handling errors, establish communication with the developers, and publish reports at the SharePoint portal. Through the interface settings, you can enable or disable the translation of object names and set up rules for working with locked objects. The Language Settings tab is used to set the system interface language. When you change the interface language, you must restart Prognoz Platform to use it in the new language. The Custom Metadata tab enables you to create your own classes of system objects. If you need to support multiple languages or display custom classes of icons, you need to link to the resource. Here you can also specify class names, the class icon in the Navigator, and software implementation. Once you create a user-defined object class, you can use it to create user-defined repository objects. All action with user-defined objects are logged along with actions with the repository system objects. As you can see, Prognoz Platform offers flexible capabilities for managing metadata elements using a visual interface. Our metadata management module video tutorial is over. Thank you for your attention.